perfect for this time of year. Something about the way violets shine as winter comes bursting through the door onto a stage that's been set and waiting 6 months too long reminds me to slow down. To make the tea the right way, to boil water on the stove in the kettle, no longer violet, more rusted out, replaced by something more durable than anything from you ever could have been on its own. I let the tea steep for the full amount of time with less honey than usual because this is not about coating the words stuck in the back of my throat or comforting the weeping banshee within my heart. Violets stand tall most of the year, a proud moment to pause and reflect, to remember and embrace the inner child. There are always going to be things that should be done, should be moved past, but innocence is not one of them. And I am excited to bring to the stage Court or Phoenix. A little longer, so I apologize.
Don't ever apologize. You are, baby.
Well, it's a long one.
Good.
Waxing poetics. It is poetic to begin the day with a fresh brewed French press of whatever's calling to me. Something warm and sweet to sip on while I write the poetry about all the places I've never been but still want to go. All the adventures I've dreamed of but never really had. Taking photos and cards from other people's journeys and imagining how mine would be if I had the time to go see those places for myself. The time it takes to boil the water, to wait for the coffee to brew, it's exactly enough to begin a daydream that no pen will ever be able to accurately describe. It's funny though. I've noticed that mornings when the blonde roast calls to me, I think of citrus-type places, with bold sunlight and more relaxation than we'd expect. And then, when medium roast speaks calmly, pulling me from my sleep, my dreams are mellow, places I know almost too much about, places where there is little to be forgotten and much to be unexplored. And finally, if it is a dark roast that screams, bringing my day to life, I imagine places I never even realized I wanted to see. Places with no real tourism and lack of museums to choose from. And in case you were wondering, the French presses are reasonable, reliable methods of brewing just enough coffee to write for an entire day here. And if you're a single poet floating from room to room of your own house admiring the windows freshly cleaned, then you should know. We steadily grow closer to the conclusion of this collection, to this story, these pages, these postcards, you and I. And I want you to know, I would not be the woman you see before you if it were not for each of these postcards, each of these coffee and tea related epiphanies, and each and every page you decide to read, hear, or share. And if you're ever in town, I'd love to take you out for the caffeine of your choice to discuss the adventures you are planning and the growth I've experienced since this project, for you and for me. And of course, all the postcards from breakfast. From this drawer and use these veins as paper for you. I read your letter, but I can't bring myself to hold on to it any longer than you need to. Darling, I'm sending this back to you without a reply. But here it is, anyway, because I've got to get this off of my chest and out of my heart. This time around, I'm not going to respond with all of the love in my heart. But I suppose after all this time, you deserve a free fall drop, as if you were one of those tears welling in my shattered crystal eyes. Did you know I write you into every piece I've ever etched, all 20 years of them? That there is something about the way sun shines and streets flood that bring me back to you all over again. That I was more at home in your bed, filled with books and anger, than at home with my own joyful family. That you are a tree in my garden with a trunk etched in initials and stories surrounded by roses, soiled in memories, watered in your unspoken dreams. A response sent past. I need you to know I fashioned your latest love letter into a lullaby I'll only sing when there's no one around to hear it for miles. You carry enough weight in the ink you bleed for the both of us. Only somehow I forgot how to pen your name the way you forgot my address when we moved closer. Sometimes I want to write back so I can let you see the pain you've caused. To give you a type of healing I was never offered, to paint your face from memory, to sing your voice like Star Song are two of my greatest dreams and fears. Return to sender without a response letter. This is one that I use a lot when I teach poetry. The curse of late night inspiration. At midnight, language breaks. There are no longer words for the things that probably should be said. By the time 1 a.m. rolls around, we're beginning to watch the lights dim. My soul speaks for me with kisses in all the right places. 2 a.m.'s rapping on the window panes. But darling, we can't see a thing. The music faded out forever ago. 3 a.m. gets here. I know it's all a dream because you are nothing more than a wall. A heart of stone frozen in time. Skin too rough for hugs. And a mind so closed, even Berlin still looks like Legos. Midnight is more unlucky than black cats, ladders, and the number 13 all wrapped together. Because, darling, you are and always will be one hell of a mystery.